Well, joining me now in the studio is Global Affairs Analyst Chuks Nwoko. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. Now, this is considered a major engagement with the U.S. But for you, is that what it is, and what makes it so?
That is what it is. The only loophole that I have noticed is why is this major agenda with the Office of the Vice President of the United States of America? Why not the Investment Office? Why not the Secretary of State? This is a noble idea. This is a great step. But you're talking about global investment. You're talking about all these noble ideas. I agree.
Perhaps he could influence that.
Yeah, except they are friends. The way the United States operates is that if you're dealing with the Vice President of the United States, it means that you are seeking his personal intervention to help you link you to the president or the key segment. And we're talking about bilateral, multilateral arrangement here. So because you're talking about, if you listen to what Femi read out, you're talking about global investment, you're seeking for investment. Now, the way it's done and the way I think it should be done is that you need to be friends with key actors in the American government. Are you friends? Is this government friends with the Democratic Party?
But when you consider our bilateral relationship, isn't that enough?
Bilateral relationship is okay, but it's not been effective. So what you can look at, and the way United States, I believe, should be able to help us is this journey, if it is because this government is friends with the Republican Party, it will be okay, and it will be more effective. Or if it's just an initiative to trigger what is going to happen in the next 4 years with the intent of bringing investment to Nigeria and all the noble goals, it's okay.
So invariably, you are saying that you are not optimistic of the outcomes of the visit.
I am. It could be that this is just to trigger, if you listen to what your colleague in Abuja said, if it's just to trigger a relationship, if it's just to start this relationship, it is okay. But I believe that it should have been with other offices, like the Investment Secretary, with the Secretary of State. Now, if as a lawyer and as a Nigerian Vice President, he's starting this initiative with the intent of cutting the office of the Vice President, but I don't know the relevance of the office of the American Vice President. I have never heard or seen or appreciated the relevance of that office. Right. What usually we have, I expect that he's trying to do is cut his office, use his influence as a lawyer. Both of them are lawyers, and he's an amiable gentleman, a Christian. He probably will. This relationship will help in subsequent. What I would suggest will happen is that there should be a consistent cutting of that office to enable this agenda to come to fruition.
All right.
Otherwise, it will just be a jamboree.
All right. Chuks Nwoko, Global Affairs Analyst, thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you for having me.
Joining me in the studio is a Global Affairs Analyst, Chuks Nwoko. He's with me here in the studio. Chuks, it's good to see you this morning.
Thank you, Mike, for having me.
Well, when it comes to investment opportunities and economic growth and all of that, one would say, fine. America and Nigeria have come a long way. Their friendship has been there for a very long time. But on this trip of the Vice President of the United States, what opportunities do you think are there that he can get for Nigeria? Because it looks like the trip is there to see what we can get for Nigeria.
Mike, the answer is there in the public place for all of us to see. America is grappling with their own sliding situation. So if Trump is doing everything. In fact, it was Nigeria in 2015 and through APC that introduced change. That is what Trump is doing in the United States. Just that he didn't call it change. He called it, he just prioritized America. And that's the agenda that he's pursuing. So if we want the investment, we need our senators and our professional governors and senators and all those people who have been in government who have not worked for how many years, but in government. They should begin to invest now. Nigerians should get back to work. That's what they're doing in America. Now, what I think that this visit can do for us is that we need to cut their friendship, emulate what they are doing, look inwards. Our people need to invest here. All these doctors who have been governors, now they should go and open offices where they can practice medicine. Show our youth that there's need for everybody to put their hands at work. You can see what Trump is doing. Now, this friendship is very, very important because it will enable them to help us negotiate at a multilateral level, because it's not only US that we need now. We need everybody. But above all, we need ourselves.
All right. Now, beyond the issue of the economy, another issue that Nigeria is grappling with right now is the issue of security.
Absolutely.
And we have Nigeria ordered for about 12 Super Tucanos from the United States, which are still under construction.
Absolutely.
Will be delivered in about a year or two.
Absolutely.
Now, when it comes to security, how central should that be on this trip of the Vice President?
It is very important. This trip is very important. They need to understand that America have their own security challenges. You see what he's doing about the border. You hear about the Trump complaining about the drug and what he did to minimize the killings by external whatever. They have suffered their own problems with the 9/11. What we're suffering here cannot be compared to what other regions and other countries are going through. So what we need to do is do a lot of emulation, cut this friendship, ask them to help us talk to those who are not our friends. Talk to Japan, talk to South Korea, talk to China. We're friends with China and all that. Mobilize all those relationships. America is very important. Now, what they do is that when we need help from countries that are not friends with us, what Pence can do for us is help us talk to those people. Now, America cannot just give you money. What they will ask you to do is, if you need to deal with the issue of security. What is Russia doing for you? What is China doing for you?
Right.
So they can add to it.
All right. Okay, fine. We also look forward to, because America, if you're doing it for yourself, what's in it for them too?
Absolutely.
The check is a give and take thing. Chuks Nwoko, thank you so much for coming on the program. Thank you.
Joining me in the studio is Global Affairs Analyst Chuks Nwoko. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. Let's start with the Vice President's statement, which he made recently on this trip, saying that the kidnappings are not entirely new in Nigeria. The most of the statements, or whatever we read, or the people read on social media, are politically motivated.
He's correct. Kidnapping started in Nigeria way back at the end of the slave trade era, when the British and all the European nations who agreed to end the business positioned their ships on the waters. In Southwest, children were being kidnapped to go and work in the farms. So it's an ancient, moral decadence. And in this studio, I told you that partly what we suffer in this country is caused by unelectable politicians, politicians who have lost elections, politicians who have no political value.
But these things, the reality is they are happening because there has been concerns.
Absolutely,
even the president during his speech,
it's a global setback.
During his speech, when the president made it, he mentioned it, that these things are happening and they are concerned and they are working towards it. But as the vice president who went on a visit to ensure that you gain some sort of respect and support from the U.S., is this the kind of statement he should be making?
I think that what I disagree with him is that these things, if I were in his shoes, I won't say in the public place that some of these things are fake. Do you understand what I'm saying? But these things, none of these things is new on earth. If you go and check the Nigerian history, kidnappings took place many, many, many years ago after the end of the slave trade, when you didn't have these guys going around selling people. They were kidnapping school children. In fact, children stopped going to school. Parents stopped sending their children outside. Because if you send them outside, they were kidnapped and taken to go and work in cocoa farms.
Now, security is
But going to New York to go and say that some of these kidnappings are not real, I thought that was an error on his part. Our amiable vice president would have known better to say that, look, we are working hard, we are doing our best, and this is a global issue. It's not only peculiar to Nigeria. We are here to invite investors
now, on the other hand,
making that statement, I do not agree that it's appropriate.
Because, on the other hand, some persons believe that because it's looking at opening up regional opportunities for foreign direct investment, he might, on that premise, he might have made that statement.
I think that's not a proper statement to be made on that occasion. Because the people that you made that are hearing, or even you agree that it's not appropriate. Because they know better. Everybody knows that we have issues of kidnapping and insecurity, and it must be dealt with before these foreign investors can come here. Our people are not safe. People are being kidnapped every day. People are being killed every day. So you don't go and say, you go to the public domain to say that some of the cases are fake. I do not agree. But are they new? They are not.
All right. Chuks Nwoko will need to drop it here at this point. Global Affairs Analyst, thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast.